Greetings, North Andover, and welcome back to the official return of your North Andover Journal, where we bring you all the best North Andover has to offer in our community, culture, business, and local government news. I'm Ron Carpenito, and I'm proud to be back as your host. Now, many local dog owners who have been working from home this past year are now beginning to head back to work. Gabrielle Griffiths recently sat down with North Andover's Animal Control Officer, Katie Kay, to discuss the ongoing issue of separation anxiety in dogs due to their owners returning to work after spending so much time working from home.
Hello, my name is Gabrielle Griffiths, and today I'm sitting down with North Andover Animal Control Officer Katie Kay to discuss developing separation anxiety in dogs due to the pandemic. Thank you, Katie, for joining me today.
Oh, of course. Thank you for having me, Gabby. I appreciate it. So before we get into too much, I just want to let you guys know I'm not a dog trainer, so I'll give you my experiences from working with animals. I've been in the animal welfare field for about 15 years, so I'll give you kind of things that I've learned firsthand and things that I've learned along the way, too. So.
Okay, so my first question for you is to just kind of tell me a bit more overall about this growing issue regarding animals and owners working from home during the pandemic and then returning to work.
Sure. So it's something that not a lot of people, I think, really think about when they're getting a dog. When the pandemic first started, people were starting to work from home and realizing they had more time for a dog at that point. But they weren't thinking of the repercussions for when they go back to work afterwards, even part-time, full-time, whatever they're doing at that point. When you bring a new dog home or a newly adopted dog or bought dog or a purchased dog home, you don't think about the attachment that they grow to you. You do in a loving way, so you know that you love their dog, they love you too. But when you're going from being with them 24 hours a day to all of a sudden leaving them for 8 to 10 hours a day as well, it's a lot different. Kind of imagine like your children being with you all day long, and then all of a sudden one day, instead of preparing them, you just kind of drop them off at daycare and they don't know what's going on. With your kids, you can kind of more discuss with them what's happening, whereas your pets, you can't really have that conversation with them. So it's a lot more difficult, and there's kind of a learning curve that they have to get into before they can completely understand what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely an issue that I would never think to take notice of, but it's so important.
Yeah.
Which leads me to my next question. For people who aren't aware, what are some key signs of dogs suffering from separation anxiety?
So I wouldn't say that you could pinpoint exactly one thing which would be a sign of separation anxiety, and you kind of have to take it into consideration with what your dog does normally too. It can range anywhere from your dog when you're getting ready to leave, excessively drooling, panting, getting visibly upset, going from anywhere from there to destroying things in your home, just ripping apart pillows, ripping apart toys, destroying couches and furniture, and also getting to the extreme where if you put them in a crate, they try and break out of the metal crate and can do damage to themselves. Or also, I've even heard of dogs going through windows trying to get to their owner who are literally just going out to the mailbox too. So the consideration you have to take in there is is your dog doing some of these behaviors at home already? Also, for example, going to the bathroom in the house or barking a lot. If your dog is going to the bathroom in the house because he's not potty trained, that doesn't necessarily mean separation anxiety. But if your dog is going to the bathroom in the house when you're not there, and it's not because he was left alone for an extended period of time, or if your dog is only destroying stuff when you're not there, only barking when you're not there, those can definitely be signs of separation anxiety. Whereas if they're doing that anyways, it's just a behavior that your dog's developed that needs to be trained out of them.
Okay. And what are some steps that you can do, to prevent / make separation anxiety a little bit easier on dogs if they are showing those signs?
So there's actually not two different types of dogs that can develop it, but dogs who are already at home with their owners and new dogs that come home too. The best thing that you can do for your dog that's already home is keep the same schedule that they were on before. So for example, my dog goes out to the bathroom when I leave in the morning, when I come home in the afternoon, and then however many times she needs to go out after them. But she knows there's a 7 to 8 hour period where she might not be able to go outside to go to the bathroom. So my boyfriend works from home, so I make sure he stays on that specific strict schedule where she still only goes out for walks in the morning and in the afternoon. And then during the day, she can hang out with him, but she also needs me time too. So she's not completely dependent on somebody being home all the time. She knows how to be by herself and how to entertain herself when we aren't home. As for new dogs, you want to try and get them on a schedule like that too, but you can do other things, like some dogs they'll show signs of separation anxiety, but also signs of boredom if they're home by themselves too. So you can always do things to kind of keep their mind going while you're away, such as dog puzzles, treat puzzles. You can fill Kongs with peanut butter and freeze them, give that to them when they leave, and kind of just give them a lot of stuff to do and to think about while you're gone instead of just sitting at the door frantically waiting for you to come home again.
Yeah. I definitely recommend the Kong. My dog loves that.
My dog goes bananas for it.
So if your dog is in distress or you recognize these signs, what are some things that you definitely should not do?
So the biggest thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to punish your dog, because some people will come home, notice their dog goes to the bathroom somewhere or is marking in the house or something like that. You don't want to punish them for that. You kind of have to put yourself in their shoes at that point and say, if you are completely panicked about something and you're showing different behaviors that you don't usually show, and someone you love and you trust comes home and punishes you for those behaviors, it's going to make it worse. It's going to make them, you obviously still love them, but you might be a little bit more afraid of them, or you might exhibit those behaviors even more, and then worse behaviors come out because you think when someone comes home, you're just going to get punished for it too. So the best thing that you can do is ultimately speak with a dog trainer, get your dog into training classes too, so you guys can kind of learn how to read each other's body language and speak each other's language, so your dog learns to trust you and you know exactly what you can do to help fix whatever issue is that your dog's having at the time. But punishment is definitely something that you want to make sure you stay away from, no matter how frustrating it is, no matter how complicated it is. You just want to try and stay calm, cool, and collected. But on the other end of things too, you also don't want to baby your dog at the same time. So coddling them and showing them all types of too much affection when you get home kind of reassures them that every time she comes home or next time she comes home, I'm going to get all this love and attention, so I'm going to panic even more until she gets home again. You want to try and keep it as neutral as possible coming in and going out the door as you can.
Those are very interesting points that I would never think about. And thank you so much for joining me today to discuss this very important issue. Do you have any final comments regarding separation anxiety in dogs, or any other resources for people to follow through with if they want to get more information about the topic?
Sure. I would say the ASPCA has a really great website. I think I posted that to our police Facebook page a little while ago. Going on to any big places like that, like the ASPCA or the Humane Society of the United States, they're really good. Talking to your local dog trainer is very good too. Another thing that you can do if your dog is exhibiting symptoms of separation anxiety or boredom is definitely look into either doggy daycare or a dog walker would be really good too, to help kind of break the day up a little bit for them as well.
Thank you so much, Katie, for joining me. I really appreciate you coming here. I'm Gabrielle Griffiths, and this was our segment on North Andover Journal.
Now, if you have questions or would like to learn more, check out the article from the ASPCA in the link below. Or contact Katie K at animalcontrol@napd.us. Now, every Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. at the Stevens Coolidge Place, toddlers are taking part in outdoor play and exploration of the great outdoors to peek under rocks, inspecting tree bark for bugs, and jumping in puddles. Sounds like a lot of fun. Let's check it out.
We Explorers is a weekly morning program. It's kind of like a story time sandwich. So we start with a story and we'll have like a theme for the day, but it's really a nature play group. So if we get distracted by finding red-tailed hawks on the property or rabbits, we can set aside our plan to teach about hibernation for a few minutes to play. So it's really about experiential learning and just getting kids outside and comfortable with nature. We find that we have a lot of repeat families coming to the program, which is awesome, because then they feel, when we're not having We Explorers, more comfortable to come to the property or our surrounding trails and just be outside in nature. And we found that this year, especially with lots of schools switching to virtual and a lot of social interaction being virtual, it's great to have this safe outdoor option for in-person gatherings. For any of our events, you can head to thetrustees.org, and there's a Things to Do page that you can search by name of event, name of property, region, if you want to try the different properties in the area. This event actually has been running for a few years now, maybe under different names, but just trying to get that young generation outside, right away, get comfortable with nature, using your imagination for creative play outside. but I would say COVID influenced it, and that there's a greater need. There's a greater need to have safe interactions with people. There's a greater need for outside time to offset the virtual. And we've also found some families maybe who chose not to put their kids into like preschool or daycare have found this as a nice outlet that's both fun and educational and social. It's so important to hold these events during, as I said, COVID times. Again, for the safety factor of the trustees, I feel really comfortable working for this organization. They've done a really great job in making clear expectations for people. We've had a lot of repeat visitors say that our programs, because of the safety level, is why they're repeat customers. So I feel really confident and just grateful that we can have this space. I know not everyone has this space, so giving people different ways to get outside safely, I think it's just important in general, and especially now. We found that a lot of new visitors came to the gardens this year when the trustees was slowly reopening their properties because people were staying closer to home. So they're doing a little bit more deep dive into like, what is my local nature? And now it's like you've got this new giant backyard to explore. I'm actually in the really exciting position right now of planning our April through June programming, because this winter we've got some great family hikes, online programming like opening up our historic house since it's closed temporarily due to COVID. We have conversations with a curator on Wednesday evenings or horticultural lectures. We've worked with a lovely herbalist locally, so lots of inside-outside combinations virtually and then in person with hikes and children's programs like this. And then looking forward to the spring, we'll have our Spring Spectacular, which will be our big spring reopening. We've planted 160,000 bulbs this fall, so it will just be like a little sea of color here. And I think especially spring, when those first blooms start popping out, it just feels so positive and uplifting, and to be surrounded in it, I can't think of a better place to be. So I'm really excited to create programming around that for everyone to come and enjoy. So if you want to stay up to date, you can follow us on social media, either on Facebook or Instagram, Stevens Coolidge House and Gardens. You can also follow the trustees on these platforms. Also, you can reach out to me with any questions. I'm Kate Bebo. I'm the engagement manager for the trustees in this area. And I can't wait to see you guys on the gardens.
Now, if you're interested in learning more about this event, check out the Stevens Coolidge Facebook page or go to the link below to purchase tickets. And if you have any additional questions, feel free to contact them at the email or number below. Well, up next, we welcome Town Manager Melissa Rodriguez with her town update for the month of February.
Hi, I'm Melissa Rodriguez, the Town Manager, here with the update. I wanted to share with you our Employee of the Year, who is Caroline Ibbotson, our public health nurse. We had peer nominations here at the town buildings in order to determine who the employee was going to be, and we were very excited to honor her this year. She certainly has earned that recognition. Second, I wanted to share with you that we had the Mass Municipal Association Conference last week, and Andrew Shapiro, our Planning Community Development Director, was able to present there on pandemic permitting, which basically was about how we went to an enhanced customer service online presence due to the pandemic that was being recognized by other communities in the Commonwealth. And so I want to congratulate him on that honor as well. I'll remind everyone that the warrant is open and will be open through mid-March. Exciting time of year for us here as things are getting very heated up with the budget and other things as the important town business. We are working collaboratively with Superintendent Gilligan and the school committee on the budget, and we're looking forward to a really exciting and fulfilling year. One of the things that we're really focusing on right now is how to bridge the education gap. And I know Superintendent Gilligan has really been passionate about that. I'm excited to be able to support him with the funding he needs to do just that in fiscal year 22. We do recognize that fiscal year 22 is going to be a difficult year financially for the community, just like every other town in the Commonwealth. And we will be making tough decisions as we move forward with town meeting, but we are dedicated to making certain that you have the town services that you need, mostly in the health and education parameters at this point. We certainly recognize that COVID-19 is going to continue to be impactful through next year, and we are looking for ways to continue to be able to support all of you in that. Our COVID-19 numbers, while still high, and we still are considered a higher risk or a red community, have started to come down, and I thank you all for your continued support and collaboration in keeping us safe. I know what's heavy on everyone's mind, especially mine right now, is the vaccine. We have been told from the Commonwealth that we will only be receiving about 100 vaccines a week. Obviously, with that limited number of vaccine, it would take us a very long time to vaccinate all of you. We are working with the Commonwealth to try to increase that number, but that's what every community is hearing. So we understand that it will be impossible for us to get to everyone. Right now, we are trying to push people towards the mega sites. There is one that's located in Danvers Middleton line. It's basically the hotel where Coco Key is. They are able to give vaccines to thousands of people every single day. We will be running our own clinics here as we get our limited number of vaccines, but we're also dedicated to helping you figure out where you can get your vaccine when you're eligible. So currently, everyone in phase 1 is eligible to get the vaccine. That's mostly public health workers, people who work in hospitals, people who are in congregate care facilities. Starting next week, the week of February 3rd, phase 2 begins, and it will be phase 2 part 1, and that is adults 75 and over. Starting next week, the town will be calling all residents over 75 to see if they're interested in getting the vaccine, to see if they need help understanding the vaccine, because it is confusing, it's new, and also if they need help making their appointments. We understand right now that the state is only allowing appointments online. It is a difficult system to maneuver. They will be starting to offer a phone system over the coming weeks, which is definitely needed, but we are going to be helping people get signed up for their vaccine as well. And so everyone 75 and over will start receiving phone calls from the town to see if we can assist them in getting the vaccine. If you do not want to go to one of those mega sites, we will work with you to make sure you can get vaccinated inside the community when we get our vaccines. It will be a longer wait, unfortunately, but we will help you get there. I think that's pretty much all I have right now, but I look forward to seeing you again in a few weeks. If you need anything, you can always call my office or send me an email, and I look forward to seeing all of you at town meeting.
Thank you, Ms. Rodriguez. And for all of you at home, please make sure you're staying updated on all things local government related by watching our GovCam channel on Comcast Channel 8 and Verizon Channel 26. Now, next up, after the success of our original program, Back to Business, originally airing in August of 2020, which profiled the challenges faced by local businesses last year, North Andover CAM and the North Andover Merchant Association have partnered up for a series that will continue to showcase how local North Andover businesses are pivoting towards success with their reopening plans as the pandemic winds down. Kuhlman Math and Reading Center of North Andover is first up to share their journey and plans to not only survive, but come out of this crisis stronger than ever. Check it out.
Hi, I'm Shobha Donti, the director at Kumon of North Andover. We're located in downtown North Andover, and we are an after-school math and reading program. We focus on developing students' fundamental skills. Our math program goes from counting all the way to calculus. So we look at the number sense, we start developing number sense, and then of course all the way through high school calculus. Our reading program, we start with the word building block, and all the way through the critical reading block. Our main focus in reading is the comprehension. First and foremost, I have to say we are very fortunate to be open right now, even though our business model has changed. Like every other business, our business also had COVID slide. In the beginning, following the guidelines from the CDC, Kumon North America, and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, we shut our center down. But very quickly, we started offering virtual classes, and currently we are doing hybrid classes. So we offer both in-center and virtual classes. Initially, we were open 4 days a week, and students came into the center. It was all in-center classes. Due to the pandemic, we offer 2 days in center and 2 days of virtual classes. Our operations have changed a little bit, as you may imagine. Prior to the pandemic, we offered 4 days of in-center classes, but we had to adapt due to everything that's going on. So we now offer 2 days of virtual classes and 2 days of in-center classes. Because of the capacity limitations, our hours are longer, so we offer longer times for the students to come in and out, but they're all scheduled. No one comes in without being scheduled, and every student comes in at their scheduled time so that we are able to maintain the indoor capacity per the guidelines from the Commonwealth as well as the CDC. We are following all safety protocols recommended by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, CDC, and Kumon of North America. Our main goal is to keep our family, Kumon families, our community safe. That includes our students, parents, as well as our staff and everyone here working at the center. As customers walk into our center, the first thing they need to do is sanitize their hands, have the temperature taken, and we maintain a log with all this information. And only then they're allowed to come into the main classroom to start doing the Kumon work. Our seating is per protocol, 6 feet distance, and in addition to wearing masks, our staff also wear face shields to give them the extra layer of protection. Once the students are done with the work, we have them put their chairs up on the tables and we sanitize everything that they touched. The tables, the chairs, and if they've used pencils and things like that which they leave behind, we sanitize them also. Like all businesses, we had to adapt to change. For example, when we work person to person, we had to maintain the 6 feet of distance. In the beginning, it was a little bit challenging, but we quickly adapted, and I have to say hats off to my staff because they too adapted with us. Due to the reduced capacity at our center, we had to extend our business hours to be able to accommodate all our students. Our Kumon program believes that reading is the single most important skill any student can develop. To enhance this skill, we have a recommended reading list and a recommended reading library, which we have temporarily shut down due to the pandemic. We hope to reopen this library one day soon. Our Kumon community, I have to say, is one of the best. They have totally adapted and responded to the changes that we have made in our center. We work with every family to see what works for them. Some of them have chosen to come to the center, some of them have opted to stay virtual, and some of them have opted for a hybrid model to come to center one day and go virtually the next. I'm very happy that a business is up and running and that our Kumon families are happy with the way that we are ensuring the continued success of their students. We just want to make this the best experience for our Kumon community. The temperature checks, the hand sanitizing, wearing of face masks, by everyone coming into the center, in addition the face shields which our staff wear, sanitizing the tables once the kids finish their assignment, making sure that they're seated 6 feet apart. These are the minimum things that we're going to continue with down the road.
Well, we hope you've enjoyed our first official return to the North Andover Journal, and we plan on producing new shows each month for you from our brand new studio location located right downtown at 70 Main Street. And as a reminder, the CAM studio is open, so please stop in and say hello anytime, Monday to Friday, 10 to 6, and take advantage of our incredible new studio space. Now, as always, if you have a new story or idea for a segment, please email us at thejournal@northandovercam.org. And from all of us here at The Journal and North Andover CAM, I'm Ron Carpenito, and thank you so much for watching.